I disavow whatever this is. I hate that. I disavow it as always. Of course, I'm not laughing, even though Stavros's smile makes me laugh. And I condemn. Oh, I saw this. It's amazing. Let's watch. Yeah, we're gonna watch this today.
A congressman's underpants with a little bit of a print was tweeted out in 2025. What I would say is it wouldn't make the top 100 news stories of this year.
That's right.
So it represents an intersection between of like an old kind of New York tabloid press, which is like that was kind of an old world thing.
Correct.
And then the new world introduction of technology into.
That's one version. The other version is
like pics. I love the point that Adam is making there, where he's saying like, you know, it's old world to have a longer time frame for controversies like this to continue, because in the new world that doesn't happen. But it's also new world because you sent pics on your phone. It was like one of the first moments of one of those first ever dick pic moments for a politician.
It was a relatively slow news period, and I'm a guy named Weiner who tweeted out a picture of his dick.
But so you were the first guy too.
No, I'm saying that I'm not dismissing that idea. I'm saying that there was an element of it.
But Matt Gaetz, kid.
Right, and if his name was Matt Kid, then the story would. No.
All right, let's play the full one.
I get it. Sometimes I critique the question you're
asking.
asking.
Jewish?
And you do this thing of like, this is not good for you to make fun of your host on the show. It's not working. I'm like, all right, I get it. I have not seen the documentary.
But you leave the documentary, so I'm going to ask you a question because I saw it.
You don't need to set it up as the documentary when I haven't seen it. If I did it in real life, you can just say, I understand you.
You're the one wasting time right now.
Fair enough.
Hello, America. My name is Adam Friedland. I'm extremely excited to welcome you to the premiere episode of the new season of The Adam Friedland Show. On a weekly basis, I will be releasing episodes where I sit down with some of the world's most important and interesting people. And for our first guest, I was joined by none other than current candidate for New York City Council and former Congressman Anthony Weiner. Now, it would be easy for me to prepare for my guest like a tabloid fixture. But let's not forget, Weiner is a seasoned and accomplished politician, and above all else, a human being. So in order to prepare, I decided it was necessary for me to sit down with an expert on human psychotherapy. And I may have even...
Wait, what? Bro, no. Have some decency, man. Have some decent. They bought you for $9, dude. I'm sorry. That's some Joe Brandon ass there, bro. That's like just being a fedayeen. It's better to do this for free than to do it for $9. I've never seen a figure like this in my life, dude. I'm sorry. It unironically is worse that you did it for $9. No, he didn't even spend it on a haircut. In Brandon's America, in the post-Brandon universe, who is cutting hair for $9, dude? You ain't getting a burger for $9. Maybe a McDonald's, that's it. $9. You should have done this for $0. That way you could have at least maintained your independence to be like, nah, dude, I'm doing it for the love of the game. You see, I'm Mike Collins, and I love Israel. I am Israel high.
Even learned a little bit about myself in the process. So without further ado, this. A red rose and a romantic novel. That's how I told my guests to identify me today amongst the hustle and bustle of the High Line, one of New York City's many hidden gems. I was here to meet James Foley, a renowned psychotherapist to the rich and powerful. If anyone could help me get into the psychology behind Weiner, it was James. After a brief stroll through the neighborhood, we sat down in my Hudson Yards penthouse to discuss the psychological profiles of the men that have shaped our world.
I'm James Foley. I'm a psychotherapist. I treat men for sexual misbehavior, such as affairs, hiring sugar babies, and things like that.
Tell us where we can find you. Do you have an Instagram?
www.sexuallycompulsive.com.
What's the general profile of your client
Yeah,
base?
so my practice is composed of high-functioning men, you know, like CEOs, guys that runs banks,
Yeah.
film directors, art, even high-end artists, musicians. I've had elected officials.
Let's say like a man sends just like a picture of his erection like under his underpants, but he's like, I'm not showing full meat. Like, is that like in a psychological process? Is like, well, if I'm not showing full meat, then, you know what I mean?
Yes. So
he's like, but then obviously his wife sees it. He's like, well, obviously it's legal if I'm just showing dick print, but no full meat. You know what I mean?
yeah, people who engage in these things will
Make deals with themselves. Or?
yes, they'll make a bargain with themselves and obviously get themselves hurt with that bargain that doesn't
Yeah.
really make sense.
Okay, what is the difference between when a man cheats and a woman cheats? You kind of indicated something.
But a lot of our programming as men and for women as women, like, it's different. And a lot of our programming is behind our irrational behavior. So,
Bro, it's called progress pics. It's different for me. I was not posting meat, chat. I was posting progress pics. Can you calm down, please? It's different. It's different. It's different. It's different. Like, you guys are being cringe right now. It was so different.
you and I are guys. We got different programming typically than a woman would get, and then.
But they cheat. They cheat.
Oh, I'm not saying they don't cheat, but
a lot of them do cheat.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's immune from that. At least no gender. But the idea is what's powering it can be different.
So why would a girl cheat on her boyfriend? Like, if he's like, especially if he's a great guy and stuff.
I wouldn't know.
What
that's a broad brush kind of thing.
It's just, but it's not. So it's. And there it was, straight from the horse's mouth. Women cheat too. And with that in mind, I was finally ready to take on my biggest challenge to date. Anthony Weiner. Pause. Our next guest is a former congressman. He was the youngest ever elected member of the New York City Council. He's run for mayor twice, and currently he is running in 2025 for city council. Please welcome Anthony Weiner, everyone. Let's get some energy in this room. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
It's my pleasure to be here.
We talked on the phone for 10 minutes.
We did. It was a good talk. You want this in your cup so we can... Oh, no, it's already got water.
We have
in it.
water in the cup, and I would appreciate it if you just featured the
No,
logo.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought. So this
Maybe.
is like, yours is white, mine is black, like Spy versus Spy styles.
Yeah, so you're
Gotcha.
you're a big fan of the show.
This one?
Yes.
Maybe the biggest? Which tells you a little something about the show,
He
but
sent
yeah.
dozens of emails. Actually, your email style is very funny because you just go last name. No, like sincerely.
Correct.
go
Oh, yeah.
last name.
I think there's a lot of wasted words generally in the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I like that your show's about 8 minutes. It's quick in and out.
Were you like a last name guy, like with your friends? It's kind of a.
Well,
like
I mean,
a-
Wiener kind of lends itself to that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, so yeah, I mean, yeah.
So growing up, you were Wiener to your boys.
Yeah.
I saw your Patrick Bet David thing.
Had you heard of that guy? See, this is what...
That guy is amazing. I saw a video of him recently
goat.
where he's like, 4 years ago, technology. 3 years, pandemic. 2 years ago, vaccine. This year, AI technology.
Yeah.
he just says sentences like that, and like guys are like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay $10,000 to go to the seminar. Yeah, and he's a billionaire now.
No, I asked these questions because I'm on
So
terrestrial
you
radio
went there,
here in
you
New York.
didn't know who the fuck that guy was.
No, I mean, I'm not saying like I didn't do anything to get. I got on a plane and flew down there, but it's more kind of like this season of saying yes to arguing
Yeah.
with people, and so I didn't quite, and it had a certain, once I looked it up a little bit and I saw that there was no, it was just a person who this ran. Became kind of fascinated to understand what exactly was going on. Because I'm trying to understand this a little.
Thank God Mullen isn't in this, otherwise we never watch it. Why? I don't have a blockade on Nick Mullen. What are you talking about?
Like,
This is okay. I was.
you don't think you're a kindred spirit with him in terms of what you're trying to do? Like,
No, certainly not.
not on substance, but in the general, like, people want to look at interesting shit nowadays. We don't really care what it is.
The objective with our show is this, right? The internet makes.
Someone should have told me this sentence before, but go ahead.
I actually did. No. I'll tell you this right now. I talked to him on the phone. He's like, and he's like, and you make money from this? And I was like, well, you know, we were on a podcast for morons for 6 years, and then the fat one left to do crowd work, and so then we changed it because I was kind of the schmuck, I was the nebbish, and we rebranded it to make me into an intellectual talk show host, and then this was amazing what you did. You let like a little pregnant pause after my whole soliloquy. You go, well, you took me on quite the journey there, but you did not in any way, shape, or form answer my question.
No, I don't say way, shape, or form. I don't think people talk like that. I just said I didn't get the answer.
You were like, vis-a-vis, et cetera. You did not.
All right.
I'm but a Southern lawyer.
Who did the notes for you? Who did the sample question? Like, did you do that on your own?
No, I have an
you got the manager.
I have a room full of women of color who are my writers.
I thought it might just be
I don't have a single honky ass. Okay, well, that does not go in the episode. Okay, you're born in 1964 in New York City.
I was, yes.
Okay, and you're a Brooklyn boy.
I grew up in Brooklyn, right.
Where you're Park Slope?
Park Slope, 6 between 8th and the Park.
Fabulous.
Yes, 39, Junior High School 51.
How was was the food co-op there at the time?
No, it was a very different kind of vibe then.
Where are you now?
Lower East Side.
Lower East Side?
East Village.
Alphabet City. It's too loud.
Yes, too loud.
It's too loud in these.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on there.
And then you have like an NYU vomit when you walk outside.
There's a lot going on there.
And your mother was an educator?
Or a math teacher.
Well,
educator. Who are you trying to impress? She's a teacher.
I was trying to compliment your mother.
I'm not sure why.
Why are you trying to shit on your?
No,
okay.
Why are you down branding teacher?
I think it's an umbrella term.
Which one?
Educator.
Right, and a more precise one is teacher. She was a teacher.
Okay, your dad? An attorney.
He was like a little neighborhood attorney. He kind of hung a shingle outside our house, that kind of vibe.
Just like a family law practice.
Yeah, some real estate stuff. Yeah, I don't really know for sure. Like some real estate closings, that kind of thing. Wasn't big enough. He's like for people who wouldn't have Jacoby Myers, but they wouldn't have a big firm. They'd have like Grau and Weiner.
And did they split up when you were a kid?
When I was in college.
When you were in college.
Your parents together?
My mother passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They were together for 40 years. Yeah.
My thing was like my dad passed away recently. My thing was when my parents. Man, I can tell the story. The story's really not apropos of anything. Go ahead.
Tell the story. What?
No, it's just when they split up.
Let me tell. Okay, when take a pause. This is a
literal pause or just a pause in the conversation.
Okay. People want to know you as a human being.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, so let me continue.
Yeah.
So when they broke up when I was like in my 20s.
Okay, hurry up.
And I'm like, exactly. That was like so.
That was a joke. Come on, I'm a schmuck.
Kind of weak.
You got to pop.
What is that?
It got to pop. It got to pop.
I understand what that.
It got to pop.
No, I wasn't beefing about you. Like you.
Oh my God.
You know, there's the.
Sorry, I'm not.
No, I'm not beefing about you. You never. What is it?
Okay, sorry, I got to laugh. I'm not trying to do a whip of a pork barrel backroom deal in the halls of or whatever.
It takes a little while for me to figure out where the crowd is. This is not a very strong crowd. I mean, they're just laughing at
It's 4 guys.
Yeah.
What do you mean not a strong crowd? They laughed at Weiner? Sorry, your last name means Bean. It's not a big deal.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, did you think you were like, I'm fine, dude. There's another guy in Congress named Dick Armey.
Here's the thing is, Dick Armey.
You're like, what? Compared to Dick Armey, this is not that bad.
There was Norm Dix too.
Norm Dix?
Yeah, in Washington.
Yeah.
You see, this is what it'll take.
It's funny, okay? And you're not a coward like that goddamn John Stewart Leibowitz trying to erase our culture. New York City kids. My girlfriend grew up in the Upper West Side. I didn't grow up here, and I feel like you guys grow up faster. Like my friends that grew up in the city, they're like, I had my coke phase at 13.
Yeah.
They kind of become adults
I
faster.
guess so. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the argument in public schools. You bounce off a lot of different types of people. Plus, growing up in the '70s, you get mugged a lot. Like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
so.
And you were going to Manhattan with your friends in high school?
High school, yeah. Actually, the same neighborhood I live in now, we would kind of go and it would, just to see how edgy it was, that kind of stuff.
Where are you going? Studio 54?
No.
Andy
We would go
Warhol's
to like
Factory.
we go to like Rocky Horror, walk
Rocky Horror?
Yeah, on St. Mark's, that kind of style.
But that's for nerds.
Yeah,
You're
but
doing
that's
that thing
probably
where you
a
throw things?
fair characterization of like
Come
where
on.
I was.
Yeah, I would have been at CBGB's if I was you.
You?
Yeah, if I was your age in New York City.
So you're gonna say you were cool then? Now what happened? What is
I've
this?
always been one of the coolest guys.
You were cool then? What happened? What is this?
No, so I mean, I guess New York in the 70s is characterized as like a completely different place.
Yes.
You've lived here for most of your life. Like,
Well, my whole except when I was in college and
Yeah.
in prison, I was here. And in Washington, I would go back and forth.
yeah. I used to live in D.C. I went to college there.
Where?
GW.
You're just like this. Yeah, you're a Jew through and through, huh?
No, they gave me the most money.
Your girlfriend Jewish?
Why? Yeah,
I'm just curious.
What are you, my
Just curious. Just curious.
Yeah, she's 20. Her mom's half Jewish. 25% is my max.
Okay.
Oh my God, they don't. I can't stand it.
Sorry.
No, it's not.
No, I'm trying to gauge the level of the back and forth. You do the questions.
No,
I'll do
we're
just
having
the
fun.
answer.
I'm just doing a shtick where I'm like, oh.
And I'm doing.
What
a
are you,
shtick
my
to-
mother?
And I'm doing a shtick to being offended by like being apologetic. We're just all doing it.
Listen, you could have been a nightclub comedian in another life. I could have been a member of the U.S. House of Representatives.
You probably could have been.
We in parallel universes.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Vegas.
Yeah, you could have. You
Yeah,
could have
yeah.
been like Shelley Berkeley or something like
I
that.
worked for Shelley Berkeley.
Yeah,
I
you
told
could have been that. That could have been you.
I was an intern when I was a junior in high school at the Congresswoman's field office.
Yeah.
Me and my best friend Alex were interns there, and we'd like wear like a shirt.
Do you remember what office were you in? Do you remember?
Do you know the field offices of Shelley?
Oh, you were in the
Vegas.
district office.
Yeah, she was
You
my congresswoman.
Got it.
And,
so you weren't really committed. You were like just doing it.
What do you mean committed? I was in high school. I had to go back home
There are
afterwards.
people that do internships in Washington.
Not in the middle of school. I just did it to get out of 8th period.
There you go.
Okay, so I'd go.
I think that's the definition of not being committed. Is when you say, "I just want to get out of 8th period."
Well, I got good. What was your GPA graduating?
It's a little bit.
What was your
in
SAT?
high school?
In high school.
I don't think I had a 3.
You didn't have a 3.
I don't think so. I was not a great student. But listen, I still get. Have you heard of Harvard?
What?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Harvard University.
Yeah, I didn't go there, but I just want to make sure you heard of it. But I went to the state. You see now I know the room.
You went to Plattsburgh.
I went to Plattsburgh State.
Me and my friend Alex, when we were working at our congresswoman's office, we'd have to like wear a shirt. So
Bro, Anthony Weiner is funny, dude. That's like, he's like surprisingly funny. It's shocking.
we felt like we were businessmen, and we'd go afterwards to Hooters because we thought that we were like adult.
This is
men.
in Vegas.
Yeah, when we were like 17, 16-year-old boys.
Got it.
Yeah, it's a great place. Have you been there?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
No, Hooters.
I don't believe I have.
It's demeaning.
Which part?
The fact that they don't let like.
Oh, I
more
thought you meant just generally being here. And I was gonna.
This is good for you. I'm telling you, this is good for you. So you're a city kid. Mets Islanders.
Correct.
The Mets are the team of the Jews and the redhead.
I totally. Sorry, I can't. I just cut him. I just cut in the Adam's bit, but this is how he bagged a baddie. Okay, because I've been a big time Huma Abedin stan for many years. Like, it makes sense how he bagged a baddie like Huma, who is now dating Alex Soros, George Soros' son, and the heir to the Soros throne.
Heads, right? The
Brooklyn.
your family were Dodger fans?
No, but you would not if you grew up in
You
Brooklyn.
kind of seem like a Yankee fan though.
No.
You're a Met fan that acts
guess.
like a Yankee fan.
What?
You were like
No, I'm a middle class guy. I'm like,
you go toe to toe in Congress.
that's what the Mets do.
27 rings.
The Mets are a blue collar team. That's my team. Yeah.
No, the Mets are like, I'm sorry.
The Mets?
I've been at Citi Field, sitting next to people, and they're like, more of this again with this. You're like an abused wife that keeps going back to him.
Not anymore.
Yeah, you keep going back to him, the Mets, and saying he's changed. He's not going to hit me anymore.
I don't want to. Who tunes in to listen to Mets Yankee banter on this show?
I was on a good riff right now. You just killed it.
I'm not so sure because I'm not.
You're a Mets fan. But you act Yankees.
I know you did that line. It wasn't that great the first time. I'm saying no. I am a Brooklyn guy. The Mets are a middle class team. You guys buy your rings. We earn them. And
guys that have two families that live 3 blocks away from each other are Yankee fans, right? Guys that are like have chronic allergies and like get sensitive when they listen to Paul Simon, are Met fans.
The 86 Mets were like the iconic bad boy team of
yeah, but you weren't there. You were with Dykstra doing lines.
First of all, no. Is that the measure of like what team you? I've lost the thread here.
What do you mean?
Can we edit out the sports parts of this show?
Why is this the offensive part of the show?
No, I'm just saying.
See, this is the thing. He is a Met fan. He's acting like a Met fan right now.
No real New Yorker is a Yankee fan. I mean, I'll give you the Bronx. You want to do the geography thing? I'll give you the Bronx.
I think a lot of Italian and Dominican guys would disagree with you.
In the Bronx?
No, in Bensonhurst, they're
no.
Yes, they are.
Except that asshole Giuliani. That was it.
You think Mayor Giuliani was?
No, that wasn't the hard part. The Yankee.
Yeah. Hey guys, I want to talk to you about having better sex with Blue Chew. Not with.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh my God, it goes on for so long. Oh my God, he has so many ads. Oh my God, this is the new Jon Stewart. This is the millennial Jon Stewart. What the f?
This is The Good Life. And now back to the show. Okay. Let's get back to it. You went to Plattsburgh College.
No, Plattsburgh State University College of Arts and Sciences.
I know.
PSUC.
Plattsburgh 4 College. I'm sorry.
PSUC. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
They call it the Yale of the SUNY system.
They totally do.
Okay. And when did you get involved or become interested in politics?
Probably there. I ran for student government there.
What was your platform? What were you fighting?
Vote for Weiner. He'll be frank.
Okay, well, that's just a saying. Well, like, what did you want to do?
That's
for the
what do you think you need in college? It's really no more fish sticks in the cafeteria.
A pun about hot dogs.
Yeah.
And they were like, "That's good."
Vote for Weiner. He's on a roll.
But what? But that was your entire platform. You were like,
okay,
I want an office of Palestinian investigations or something.
So the division in student government, at least at Plattsburgh, is probably other places, is you have these guys, these resident assistants who basically they're the professional guys on campus who are hired by the colleges to be in the dorms, the RAs. We all know what they are.
But they're students.
So my whole thing is those people should not be allowed to be on student government.
Why?
Well, because they effectively worked for the administration. So there's so I don't think they should be. Those are always the ones that were most ambitious to run. So I ran. It wasn't a platform. Who gave it?
Kind of like that as spite run.
Yeah. So that's what I did, and I didn't win. I came in. Anyway, I came close. And then there was a bit. You want to keep hearing the rest of the story?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever told it on any podcast before.
This is what people want.
I'm dubious, but I'll continue. We'll see. We'll see if the dial groups do well for this.
We'll
segment.
cut it if it's boring.
So there was a vacancy because some kid didn't come back for whatever. He ran and then he didn't come back for whatever reason.
What was this guy's name? Full name?
I don't remember.
Full name.
I don't remember the guy's name.
Remember,
so there's a vacancy.
You definitely remember full name.
I remember names for the rest of the story.
Okay.
So then the charter of the Student Association of Plattsburgh State says that the president who's elected gets to choose a vacancy and has to get ratified by the Senate, right? So the president was Christine Slobin, and she chose someone, not me. And I'm like, that's not fair. I was the next person votes, so I lobbied all the members of the Senate to reject her appointment.
Oh my God.
And they did.
And she was your first enemy in politics.
And she said, all right, fine. Who the f wants this job? Fine, you can have it. And then I made the rest of the Senate miserable the rest of the time because I was constantly complaining.
So you love the game.
I got a taste for it then in college, yes.
Okay, and then you worked for Chuck Schumer.
I did.
In D.C. right afterwards. And that was kind of was he your first mentor in politics?
Yeah, first and only, really.
What did you learn about how politics actually works?
I learned a couple of things. One, I learned the combination of the inside-outside game, and I also learned that relatively few people run Congress. That there are 435 of them, but there's really only a handful that actually do a lot of the work, so that you actually can really influence things a lot easier than people might think. Like, you run for Congress, if you can figure out the 25 or 30 people that get shit done, you can really get a lot done.
And
when you're
who are
there.
those people?
Sometimes they're staffers to committees, sometimes they're members who are super insider kind of people, like, you know, Nancy Pelosi knowing.
It's crazy that this guy is like still trying to run for office after going to prison for texting a 15-year-old, by the way. Like, what? Dude, American politics is so busted that, like, it is actually, like, it does blow my mind. Like, going on a comedy show is one thing, right? With, like, Adam Friedland. But, like, actually having the audacity to run for Congress after all of that is wild. Do you mind elaborating? I feel like you should lead with that. Is all of my chat like 20? Do you guys not remember when this happened? This was kind of a big deal, man. Guys, I mean, Adam is going to touch on this in a little bit, but why do you think it's a scandal? 2016 election, Hillary Clinton. Like, what do you think the scandal was? He already mentioned that he went to prison. Like, he just dropped it in there in the convo earlier. I guess a lot of you were very young. Yes, I literally am. Who is this guy? Okay. Anthony Weiner was married to my queen, Huma Abedin, who is now married to Alex Soros, George Soros' son. But before my queen, Huma Abedin, was known as Huma Abedin Soros, she was married to Anthony Weiner. Now, why is Huma Abedin relevant to the story? Because Anthony Weiner, aside from being a congressperson, was important to the subject of the 2016 election. Important quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Okay? When Huma Abedin was married to Anthony Weiner, she also was Hillary Clinton's top advisor. And his sexting scandal broke out. His sexting scandal, sending obscene materials to a minor, broke out. And in the process of the sexting scandal that broke out, there was a laptop that was recovered by the FBI. It was, I believe, a laptop that he had used that Huma Abedin had also used. At the time, the FBI director was Jim Comey. He famously came out after shutting down the initial Hillary Clinton investigation. He came out again with another announcement literally a week before the 2016 election and relitigated the email scandal and reminded everybody by getting up and saying there is a second investigation that is being conducted into Hillary Clinton because of the laptop that he had used, that Huma Abedin had also used. Nothing came of that investigation that tied it back to Hillary Clinton, but the fact that he brought it up might have played a role in Hillary Clinton losing the election. A lot of liberals don't remember this and don't talk about this because they present Jim Comey as a hero. You're conflating two different stories. The dick pic happened in 2011, not 2016. No, the dick pic happened in 2011 with what was her name? It was another girl. But there was a second scandal. The first scandal was in 2011 where he famously sent a dick pic to what was the girl's name? It was a of age person. I mean, there's, I think, 3 sexting scandals. Yeah, 2011, Weiner uses public Twitter account to send a link to a photo on YFrog. The picture of his erect concealed by his boxer briefs was sent to a 21-year-old female college student from Seattle, Washington, who was following his post on the social media website. Though the link was quickly removed from Weiner's Twitter account, screenshots of Weiner's original message and the photo were captured by a user identified as Dan Wolf on Twitter and subsequently sent to blogger Andrew Breitbart, who published him on his big government website the following day. That was the first scandal. That was actually a very famous one. Okay. Later, that blew up. But afterwards, there was a second scandal. The former congressperson announced his return to politics as a candidate for mayor of New York City. He soon became the frontrunner against Democratic primary opponent, City Council Speaker Christine Quinn. More pictures and sexting allegedly by Weiner were released to the website The Dirty in 2013. Okay, that was the Sydney Leathers scandal. That was the other big one. Okay, the Sydney Leathers scandal. I think that was where he called himself Carlos Danger, if I'm not mistaken, or was that the last one? But the finale, if I'm not mistaken, the finale came with the 15-year-old. The 2016 one was with a minor, 22-year-old unnamed woman with whom Weiner had contact in late 2012 and as late as April 2013. More than a year after Weiner left Congress, the woman's identity had yet been confirmed. At a news conference the same day, his wife, Huma, by his side, Weiner responded, "I said the other texts and photos were likely to come out, and today they have." He also said he would not drop out of the mayoral race for the election in the city of New York. Now, the last one is the one that was consequential for the election, and that's this. Anthony Weiner released from prison after serving 18 months for sexting a teenager. That is in 2019. Okay? No, you're mixing up with Elliot Spitzer. Elliot Spitzer had sex scandals as well, but Elliot Spitzer also had much better politics than Anthony Weiner did. Elliot Spitzer, and his sex scandals, I believe, was just that he was hiring prostitutes. But the reason why that came, I think if I'm recalling correctly, the reason why Elliot Spitzer's sex scandals actually became known was because he was very aggressively pursuing a lot of major financial clients in the New York area. Like he was actually trying to litigate. He was actually trying to prosecute a lot of big players in the New York finance scene, and that's the reason why the major high-end escort service, the DC Madam leaks, took place. Anthony Weiner sentenced to 21 months in prison for transferring obscene material to a minor. September 25th, 2017. All right, let's keep going.
Nancy Pelosi was going to be someone early on. Like I supported Nancy for whip and majority leader and whatever else.
You
so
know,
like that kind of stuff.
She's like a real wolf of Wall Street. She really knows how to pick them.
She's very good. She's
incredible at it.
She was very good at her
investing.
job. She was very good.
No, I'm just
that. I didn't.
She's unreal.
Yeah, but people have
How
money.
the hell does she know what stocks to get behind?
A lot of people are rich. Yeah, are you not familiar with that? Like
I'm making a joke about how like
yeah, and I'm not playing along.
Why you think that members of Congress should own stocks?
Why shouldn't members of Congress own stock? It's the most transparent body on earth.
I think that you can.
Every word is published somewhere. Every word that's said.
That if you have
oh, he's such a scumbag. I mean, oh, come on, dude. How are you going to defend insider trading of congresspersons? Like, I mean, obviously he's a scumbag. He sent pics to a 15-year-old and went to prison for it. But on top of that, this is like a bridge too far for me is when he defends. He went from, a 15-year-old aside. How are you going to defend congresspersons doing insider trading, sir?
An investment in something.
Go ahead.
And there's
that is my red line.
piece of legislation that would threaten that investment. Do you think that is a conflict of interest?
No.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Because every fucking piece of legislation is incredibly public, and anyone who's investing based on pieces of legislation is not going to do very well.
Let's say you already have an investment, and this would threaten that investment. Is it morally correct?
There are pieces of legislation that threaten and enhance every investment on Earth. Go ahead, give me an investment. I'll tell you, there's legislation on both sides.
I don't think for the relaunch. I don't think that's a good one.
Okay, let me tell you this.
I don't think that's a good one for you.
And this kind of like superficial bumper sticker knowledge of politics.
It's not bumper sticker.
Over it.
There are so many.
This is like wafer thin, man. Oh my God, the conflict of interest.
It doesn't matter being right. It doesn't matter being right? And it sounds bad to people that members of Congress come in with not a lot of money and leave incredibly wealthy.
Dude,
okay?
My dude, listen, I understand.
Yes, brother.
People have a wafer thin virtually translucent knowledge of politics that gets reinforced by assholes like you, and I'm supposed to go, oh yeah, that's up to them.
Why is that asshole?
You're choosing the wrong correlative. The correlative is that these are people that are exposed to a lot of rich people. So the idea that investing on like inside information, every single thing that goes on in the economy, sometime or another, the United States Congress touches upon. So basically you're saying, well, you've got all this inside knowledge about everything on earth. Literally, as a member of Congress from Brooklyn, I was voting on agriculture policy. Didn't mean that I have inside information on soybean prices. It's a stupid premise. Now, if you want to say...
Oh my God, he is so unimaginably invested in congresspersons being able to trade stocks with inside knowledge, like that the market is not aware of, things that are not made public before the public learns about it. Why is this such a major point of contention for him? Bro, if you were to ask him, is it appropriate to send pics to 15-year-olds? I don't think he would defend it this hard. Like, he's like actually insulted. You can literally be like, what do you think about age of consent? Should 15-year-olds receive pics from congresspersons? He wouldn't be that defensive, it feels like. This is his thing. This is like, nope. Too far, sir.
That rich people become members of Congress, bounce off other rich people, have information and investment opportunities that normal Mrs. Crapalucci doesn't have, 100% right. But it has nothing to do with the work of Congress, with being in a committee and saying, this line 17 here, which no one can read, says that we're going to start investing in AI. I'm going to go invest in AI. That's
okay. When someone becomes the president, there's a custom where they detach from their like private financial interests, right? President Trump, I don't believe has done that.
He did not do it, right?
Okay. When a member of the public sees that, we lose faith in that institution, right? Because the people that we elect to Congress shouldn't have any financial interest in what they are legislating, right? So even if you're saying I'm wrong, right, and then I'm undereducated, okay, in principle, we are in a time where people's faith in our institutions, especially in the government, is at a low point. In my opinion, people just don't. They think it's all now.
Correct. Here's the problem.
Yes.
When I ran for mayor, I wanted to put pressure on Mike Bloomberg because I was going to run against Mike Bloomberg. I said, I don't have any money. You should put everything in a blind trust. And so I said to my staff, I said, let's figure out how I do this. They said, well, you can't because you have to report every quarter what you're holding. So I said, I can't, so it's blind, I just can't read my own filings? Well, no, you have to sign your filings. It's a conflict. But I'm saying is, you, not you particularly, but you people like you, want to find an easy pat boogeyman for these things. Even if you're a middle class guy like me, who am I calling up for money? A bunch of rich people.
Yeah.
Right? So now in the city it's a little bit different. They incentivize you to call regular New Yorkers. Your guy Pete lives in my district. I'm gonna ask him for $10 on the way out of here. I mean, Pete? Yeah, he lives in my district.
Don't give him $10.
It's worth it's 8 to 1.
That's kind of me giving you $10, just so you know.
You've just pleaded guilty to a felony.
Why? What's the felony?
Well, you can't.
He's a
straw donor.
Straw donations, yeah.
Good friend?
He's a straw donor.
Being a good friend? Okay, so Chuck was your mentor, right?
Yes.
And you took his seat in the House.
I did.
Okay, and
by force.
After you were in also, can I ask you another question?
Sure.
I used to live in D.C.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how ugly are these people?
Physically?
In the government. I mean, the only two pieces of ass I think in Congress when you were there were you and probably Mitch McConnell. Let's move on. Okay, so what is your relationship with Senator Schumer now?
Not great now.
Not great.
I've kind of given him a lot of space because I want him to be able to say, I don't know what that Weiner's up to nowadays, that kind of vibe.
You feel like you've become a pariah? Like what?
I feel that I let him down, yeah. I mean, I do.
You let him down during your scandals and stuff?
No, he was very kind actually during my scandals, etc. But I think that obviously, I caused him a lot of aggravation, and I was closely associated with him, so when my happened, I think a lot, the blast radius for my stuff.
Dog, you took down the 2016 Hillary Clinton campaign. I feel like the reputational damage that Chuck Schumer incurred in the process is so marginal and so inconsequential.
Included him, so
Yeah. All right. I want to talk about being a Democrat during the Bush era, and I want to
Yes.
talk about your rise to prominence.
because your viewers are really into the Bush era right now. That's their.
What do you mean? What? I am.
The Bush era is largely forgotten. I did my A work then, and like no one remembers it. But go ahead.
I mean, we shouldn't forget it. I mean, you did vote for the Iraq War.
I did. Yeah, I did.
That was a crap war.
That was a bad call by me.
That was a bad call.
Oof, bad call. by me.
Yeah. I thought that.
Did you know at the time it was a shitty call, or because you were such an ardent Zionist, you were like, yeah, get in there?
I did a walkout. I did a walkout of my high school,
That's good.
and everyone was like, "Fag."
that was just an
It really
Tuesday
upset
for you,
me.
but
It
yeah.
upset me. I hated Bush. I hated him.
No, Bush wasn't an.
I hated Bush.
Well, right, okay, but you weren't a New Yorker on September 11th, were you? No.
In
you were-
spirit, I was. I was listening to Howard Stern. I was on the radio.
Close
so I felt
enough.
like I was there.
Close enough.
You know that someone called in from the tower to Howard from the.
Oh, I did not know that.
And he was like, "Howard, Baba Booey, I'm in tower." Not funny.
Too
not
soon.
funny.
Too soon.
Not funny. Well, because the rest of America, we thought it was pretty fun. Anyway, of course, you rose to prominence like in national attention because you had that fiery speech about the 9/11 first responders
Right.
bill. There used to be this notion of like there were Democrats in the party that were also killers. You were a Democrat who wasn't you were a macho. You were known for going on Fox News and smacking them down. And that did something for a lot of people because that was during the rise of Fox News. That was during the Bush era. What do you make of the state of the modern day Democratic Party? Do you think there are people that have that fire?
Well, it's the comparison doesn't fit because I was a bigger fish in a smaller pond at the time. Like there was this notion you don't go on Fox News and fight with these guys.
By the way, notice how he does get a little agitated about 9/11 jokes. I was like, well, you weren't in New York at the time. But also, when he talked about voting for the Iraq War, 1 million dead. Nah, it was a bad call. You need to understand, that's how American politics and the attitude that Americans have towards these sorts of things. Like he just doesn't give a dude.
That's because why do it? Like, what does it get? And I thought, one, it's the sport of it, and two, it's
They're idiots.
Yeah, but now it's now the entire institution of politics is.
As a New Yorker, I get rattled by 9/11 jokes. Oh my God, dude. Okay.
To be performative of people who just say for the purpose of having it echo for no particular reason. So there are a lot of people that
What
do
does
that
that mean?
well.
What does that
people that just want to be in it for the clicks and just want to say the outrageous things because they know it'll get picked up.
But they're in the modern day Democratic Party
Or Republican Party. Why are you making the
I'm
distinction?
talking about because you're a Democrat. The party is kind of, they don't have a defined message against Trump right now or a unified message against Trump right now. They just lost an election to The Apprentice for a second time. You know, the party is kind of in a bad way right now, but they are perceived, I think, by the electorate as perhaps a feat or lacking in passion or kind of empty. Like
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the one party won by 1.3% of the vote, and yes, you can make this narrative of, oh my God, we suck. Or we were like a few 100,000 votes away from being, oh my God, it's amazing how great the Democrats are doing. We've had 3 elections in a row that are tied. You've got a lot of people in the country who apparently don't take this stuff very seriously and just want to like make visceral screams every 4 years. All right, we know that. Now, how we as Democrats, we have more fidelity to
Do you think there's anyone in the party right now that possesses like kind of the skills that you presented in 2008?
I know, but
2007?
what I was
Just talk about some people right now.
What I was doing was I was expressing genuine, that moment in 2000, whatever it was, I was angry and tired and hadn't slept enough, and I yelled and screamed a lot. Yeah. And people were like, oh my God, that's amazing. Now everyone's yelling and screaming. So
no, that's not true. Can you tell me one speech on the House or Senate floor that has garnered the attention that you got?
I know, that's the point I'm making, is that everyone is doing the same shtick now
No,
of
they're
doing
not.
the performative outrage.
No,
they're
not.
all doing it.
The Congress is now, it's a little bit, it's become somewhat of a legion of skanks, if you will. I mean, it's become, what can I say? It's white.
What is-
It's trash. No.
What does Marjorie Taylor Greene do all day?
When I saw that fight between AOC,
Marjorie Taylor Greene is unironically for her own party a much better, much more loyal soldier, a servant of the Republican Party than the average Democrat is to the Democratic vision. I will stand by that. I despise her. I think she's horrible. Okay. Having said that, as a disgusting titan, she is a more loyal soldier and a more effective vehicle for the ambitions of the Republican Party than the average Democrat is to the Democratic Party. She never stops campaigning. She never stops attacking. She's constantly posting. She's constantly putting her ugly ass face in every single affair. Marjorie Taylor Greene is such a freak. She literally attacked David Hogg. And I don't mean David Hogg like right now, okay? The VP of the DNC or whatever. David Hogg, when Marjorie Taylor Greene attacked him, was like a 17-year-old who had just survived a mass shooting. Okay? Like, understand that kind of shamelessness, that kind of energy. She is the fedayeen. Why does she do it? Why does she attack a child who had survived a mass shooting? Because she recognized, I guess, ahead of time, before everybody else, where the party was going. She had a better understanding of what Republicans wanted from their politicians than the average Democrat does from their base. That's why they're winning. She is a monster, dude. Think about a while ago, you said something that will stick with me forever. You called her a sexual dynamo. I mean, that is true. She is a sexual dynamo. That's true. She is a dynamo for the party and a sexual dynamo as well.
he and the other congresswoman and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they were like, with your butch body and your bad haircut.
What is
like,
that all about?
It's the government. They're acting like Jerry Springer right now. When I see that slob,
Right, but you're asking
when I see
me,
that
is there
lurch,
anyone who does that like I used to do? People
that's
argue-
not like what you used to do. What you were doing was like you were standing up for a piece of legislation and you were standing up for people. You were talking about someone's haircut and your outfit looked bad. You know, seriously, it's trash. When I see that slob, that lurch Fetterman, I'm like, put on a shirt. You're in the government. Have some respect. It's the government. You know, the only time he wore his suit was when Netanyahu came and spoke to the Congress, and he looked worse in the suit. I got you there. I got you there.
What? Yeah, that's great. Fetterman's clothing.
I think you should put a shirt.
Fair enough.
It's Shabbos. Put a shirt.
By the way, am I underdressed for the show?
No, you asked me before what you should wear.
I did, because I didn't have enough experience.
No, this is a
with the
great
show.
outfit for you.
Okay, thank you.
How are you 60?
By the way, they won in spite of her, not because of her. She's toxic, and the Dems wanted her to run for Senate because she's not well liked by even a lot of Republicans. Yeah, look at where the party's at now. Look at where the party's at now. Look at where the party's at now. Look at where the base of the party's at now. Marjorie Taylor Greene was, you know how I say being a leftist is about being right, but too early to be taken seriously, like the Nathan Tankus tweet? Marjorie Taylor Greene is that for the Republican Party. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the most honest, most unvarnished, most truthful version of the Republican Party, and she was leading the charge. Like, think about the stuff that she got in trouble for, saying that like Jews have satellites that cause the California wildfires. She was an anti-vaxxer. She is a straight up neo-Nazi. Like, all of those things, when she was doing that at the time, people were like, what is this? This is crazy. She still kept winning her elections, number one, which is wild. Yeah, she first said Jews did the California wildfires and then said the Chinese did the Hawaii wildfires because she realized they made her sent her to the Auschwitz to write a book report to apologize for her anti-Semitism. So then she was like, I learned my lesson. I am not supposed to say it's the Jews. I can always, however, say it is the Chinese. No, she's absolutely a harbinger of what the Republican Party is, but I'm saying she's not a good soldier for why the Republicans win. No, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Marjorie Taylor Greene leans closer to the most insane aspects of the base of support within the Republican Party, and therefore the Republican Party has basically been designed around her vision because she's just closer to the average psychopath, and they're hyper-focused on these like marginal culture war interests. And she's a loyal soldier for said culture war interests, and she's unashamed and willing to put herself out there and willing to make a fool of herself. And I think that if there was a Democratic Party version of her, it wouldn't be the Jasmine Crockett. It would be like someone who was aggressively pursuing healthcare. You know what I mean? I want that level of ambition and that level of passion for the issues that the Democratic base cares about. Republicans apply year-long pressure, never-ending, unyielding, year-long pressure on the issues that they care about in a way where they're like shameless. They're not afraid to lead. They're not afraid to lead the rest of the party, the rest of the base of support, in the direction of what their primary base of support wants. The super passionate evangelical, white evangelical Christians. There's obviously a level that you can't go beyond, like Valentina Gomez. It would be like if a tanky became a congressperson, like a rapid anti-imperialist constantly screaming. Yes, that's exactly what it would be like. It would be like if there were Democratic Party politicians who were like yelling at other congresspersons for not demanding that we nuke Israel. Like that would be the hyper exaggerated version, like a bad empanada style congressperson. That would be the Marjorie Taylor Greene of like the most exaggerated version of the Marjorie Taylor Greene on the left. And in a world where there are people like that, the norm within the Democratic caucus would be infinitely more radical, is what I mean.
Guys, I want to talk to you about Lucy. We're really excited.
Small. Oh my gosh, so many ads. Baller.
Thank you. And now back to the show.
Okay, so I want to ask you about the ACA in 2008.
Affordable Care Act. Who do you think the audience is for this show? They want to ask you about the ACA, right?
Don't talk down at people.
No, they know it as Obamacare. I coined.
It's crazy because it's like I actually am really interested in his answer for every single question that Adam has asked, and we are absolutely in the target audience.
Well, I didn't coin it, but I called it, when the Republicans are calling it Obamacare to be derisive, I called it Obamacare to say, yeah, we should own this.
They didn't own it. I mean, the Heritage Foundation owned it.
But that's the point. And I was saying, why are we running away from it? Either we're proud of this thing or not. You want to call it Obamacare, if you're proud of it, you should call it Obamacare too. And they called me from the White House, and they're like, you mocking the president's accomplishment. I'm like, no, I'm just calling it what, if they want to call it this, we're proud of it too.
It felt like Bush left office with an atrociously low approval rating.
He did.
It felt like there was this guy.
My conspiracy theory is that they had to cut Nick Mullen out because this show will never run without Blue Chew. And Nick Mullen is the reason why Blue Chew, after like 15 years of being a loyal supporter of anything that Nick or Adam or Stavros ever did, finally cut ties, financial ties with the show because of his October 7 joke about Blue Chew. It's one of the most insane jokes I've ever heard. And if you know anything about Cumtown, okay, Seaman Village, Nick Mullen has made jokes about like selling Blue Chew. In the process of selling Blue Chew, Nick Mullen's made jokes about like how files consume it before trying children. And these guys, Blue Chew, have never pulled back their sponsorship. Think about that. And this was the bridge too far.
You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises.
Phone to get better reception on the bus.
Yeah. The process is simple.
Like I said, you're not planning on anything, but now suddenly there's a hole in the wall in Gaza, and you walk through it, and you find yourself at a music festival.
It's crazy they let this happen.
Yeah, you're gonna need some Blue Chew, pal. I mean, you've got work to do. Yeah. 75 years worth of revenge.
You don't need the Blue Chew for that. No, that's ancient blood,
I'm
and it's
just kidding.
boiling.
There's no evidence any of that actually happened. It was idea.
But there is a lot of evidence that Blue Chew will get you rock hard. And ready for all types of rape of man-king situations.
My thing on the reads of the last like 2 months has been trying to work in the October 7th Anything October 7th related into at least one.
What was it? October. What happened that day?
It was
a bit of a kerfuffle.
Eeyore's birthday.
Eeyore's birthday. I miss. I forget
It's a
every year.
massacre at Eeyore's birthday in Austin, Texas.
He
Really?
did it in his name.
Yeah.
He had a cloud. about
Some
it.
pin the tail on this.
Some Muslim guy dressed up like Tigger raped people.
Interesting.
If you take this, like, take a half of one of those, is it?
You need to understand. The other joke was funnier. Yeah, his retelling of it is actually funnier. I had never heard the original one. Let me explain something to you. Okay. The reason why this is insane is because Blue Chew for like 10 plus years gave them money while Nick Mullen sat there and would talk about how, oh, I'm going to go be a pedophile and take Blue Chew before. Like that is how he sold Blue Chew on his podcast for almost a decade. They've done the most heinous ads, the most unhinged ads for Blue Chew without Blue Chew ever going, yeah, maybe don't do that. Maybe don't say that our products are good for pedophiles to use. Okay? And this was the bridge too far. That's what's so crazy.
Did Blue Chew you're with, or do you have a
Who are we with most recently?
I think Blue Chew might be most recently.
Okay,
but we've had a couple.
We'll just put it over. We'll just if it's a different one, we'll just put a different one.
Just put it over
from our first
Hey, we're you know we the products
They got
work.
mad. They got mad at us because I said that the Hamas guys were using it on October.
No,
7th.
it was no. This was amazing. They're like, Blue Chew wants you to pull an ad, and Nick's like, they have been advertising with us for 8 years.
Yeah.
I have a great relationship. And they were like, well, let's talk to they wanted us to talk to someone that was like the ad buyer. He's like, I want to talk to the company. We talked to their head of like
Of advertising or
of
whatever.
promotion or something, and they were like, yeah, man, like you can't say that Hamas took it before they flew Mario Karts into the music festival. He's
And I
like, you
said-
guys have been
I said,
great partners, but you
yes, I
can't.
can, and I did.
Nick was like so fired up, and then they're like,
I
"You
can
can't
say that. I did say that, and it's probably what happened. Now, where is my $200? I would like my $200.
The amount of times we should have crossed the line, and then that.
I know it is funny. I mean,
I disavow whatever this is. I hate that. I disavow it as always, of course. I'm not laughing, even though Stavros' smile makes me laugh instinctively because he has such a fantastic and, dare I say, contagious laughter. And yet I am so shocked and so angry, and I condemn them. Yeah. All right, let's continue.
I lived in DC at the time. And I
So
remember the
you
night
said.
Obama won. And I was with my friends. I was in college. We were like listening to Born in the USA, and we didn't realize it was a song about how America has abandoned the veterans coming back from Vietnam. But we're like, it was the first time we felt like, yeah, we're patriotic. A black guy became the president,
Right.
and he's incredible. He's an incredible speaker. I ran to the White House, and I was shouting at the building, and I was like, fuck you, Bush.
Yeah.
And I was like, a black guy's moving into your house, you piece of shit. And girls were showing their. But going back to the ACA, so we had an opportunity to finally give people the ability to go to the hospital as a human right. And it, on a personal level, I became jaded probably for the rest of my life because they immediately gave up on it,
Give up on?
on single payer.
Oh no, they never. They made a decision early on. I mean, look, you've got to decide. A lot of our economy is a single-payer system, and Medicare and Medicaid, the Indian Health Service, and then a lot of it is employed.
By the way, one of the most insane things that took place in the Nick Mullen joke that I'm still thinking about and not laughing about, of course, was that the only part that he clarified was that there was no evidence. Like, he didn't even apologize for anything else. And he was just like, I'm so sorry to Hamas for saying that they used Blue Chew. He did not apologize to Blue Chew for the association with October 7, but he basically delivered an apology to Hamas for associating them with the massacres were conducted on October 7 narrative. That in and of itself is like, I don't know how to describe it. Like that is like a secondary impact when you think about it. Subversion of expectations, comedy. I know. I'm just saying that, people are, there's a reason why people say Nick Mullen is brilliant. He is an incredible joke crafter in terms of like one of the funniest things he's ever said that I always use all the time. Nick would be the leader of men if he were 10% less racist. I think so. But the Clues one is hilarious when he's talking about 9/11, or the classic one on cops. Yo, current cop violence watch on Civil Lawyer on YouTube, please. Bro, please stop it.
Lawyer-based. And they had to make a decision early on
anyway.
what they were going to do, and they learned from the Clinton failures to double down on the insurance model and give insurance companies a bunch of money and give you money to give to insurance companies. It wasn't the transformative thing that maybe a young Adam Friedland.
You're doing the Patrick Bet-David thing to me again.
Friedland. Shortened Friedlander?
No, it's not because I'm quiet quitting. The reason why I have to leave soon is because I'm going to Dallas. Or sorry, DreamCon. I'm going to SawCon.